Welcome everyone to
Hello.
Three Things Live. Hi, Jackie.
Yes, hello.
Do you love the sweater
is so
she's wearing
fun.
today? I'm like, oh, I need that.
Yes.
It's absolutely lovely in every way.
It's really fun.
It
Thank
gets
you.
me excited
Thank
for
you.
Valentine's.
I know. Yeah. So
Too fun. Well, we are so glad to have you join us today. Welcome to Three Things Live, where thing number 1 is something to smile about, thing number 2 is something to learn,
Yes.
and thing number 3 is something to discover. Let's go. Hi, welcome back everyone. I am so excited to be with you today. And I see that Brenda said in the comments that she's so happy to be here because she can watch it live. Hooray!
Yay.
So we always love it when you're live, and we always love it when you go back and watch the replay. Either way, we're glad you're here. So, you know who else I'm glad to have? My two pals,
it's
Kyle
so fun.
and Jackie.
this is my first time back.
Mine too.
Yours too? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess because
With
it
the
just
new
started
thing.
Monday,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, here we go.
We're on the third
On the
day.
third day.
We've made it. You know, if you remember where we were when we first opened this studio for Three Things Live, it's come a long ways,
Yes,
hasn't
it
it?
has. Yes, it has.
Oh, the challenges of technology
I
in the
know.
beginning.
Yeah, well, I have missed it.
Yeah.
Have you missed it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's been,
But now I got to get my brain around
well,
the
I
time.
know, and the time change
Yes.
too is going to be
Yes,
something
I've
different.
been reading a lot about that. Yes, a lot of
So,
people are saying,
yeah.
"Oh, I've got to figure out this time change." So
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you just put it in your phone and
It's
and
kinda
set an
nice.
alarm.
It's like daylight saving.
Yes. It messes you all
it
up.
Totally, yeah, at first until you get used to it. Because
Yeah.
now my day today is going to be so long.
Yeah.
Because it's
That's
1.
right.
Instead of having it
Yeah.
3, I only
It's
had 2
true.
more hours to go home. But now I've got way more time.
Yeah.
And it will be so fun.
Yes,
We love it.
I love the
Yes.
spirit.
So much to get
positivity.
done.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. Well, so you two,
We have a fun.
What's going on?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was so fun. This whole thing, I'm so excited
oh,
about.
the Stitch Your Story.
Yes.
What gets you excited about it when you think
Just-
about it?
I don't know. I will probably, and I'll talk a little bit about it, my story. Mm-hmm. And I think it was just made you think,
Yes.
of
Yes.
things, and it really took me down memory lane. And I tell you, I have just, I've just had so much fun thinking about things and
And
trying
what
to come
would
up.
I do here? And what would I do here? Right?
Right. You know, what do I want to leave
Yes.
as a
Yeah.
legacy for
Oh, yeah.
people? I'm thinking, boy, my mom did a great job at that.
Oh my
But
goodness. Yes.
but I don't know if I'm so good.
Oh, you will.
I was
You
like,
absolutely will. I was talking to my mom on the phone yesterday on my way home from work, and she said, "Kris, I'm intrigued by this Stitch Your Story, but I don't know what I would share." And she said, "And I don't sew." And I said, "Mom, let's you and I talk about some of these things, you know." And it was so enjoyable to just ask her some questions on my way home from work. And I said, "Mom, that's the perfect block. You know what? If you come up with what story you want to share, I'll help you
Oh,
in
nice.
sewing a block."
And what a great thing to do it together.
Exactly.
And then you'll
she's
always
so
remember
excited.
that. I mean,
She said, I could do that? I said, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
This is for everyone. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter, you know, your skill level or,
Right.
you know, it's how you interpret each month's theme,
yeah.
and it's how you want to, you know, share a message.
Yeah.
With your family, and I think it's amazing. I'm so excited about it. So
Yeah.
um,
So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a little giddy about
Yeah.
but then all the things that have happened this week, right?
yes,
I mean, the UFO challenge. I mean,
it's busy.
oh my word! I've got
The club opening
the
up.
club.
Oh, that was big.
And
Yeah.
I've already done 2 things on my UFO.
What?
Well,
Really?
I did. This is
Really,
my year.
Jackie?
This is my year. I'm going to do it.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's amazing. And isn't it such a good feeling?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Only
Love it.
1,000 more projects to go.
Yeah. Hey, you know what?
I said,
I swept my floor.
You're making a dent.
Yeah.
You're making a dent.
Yes.
Exactly. And that's good too. In fact, I was listening, one of my favorite people on the planet for a podcast is Mel Robbins. Oh, she is my hero. You guys, if anyone knows Mel, can
Oh.
hey Mel, give Kris a call.
Yeah.
She is my favorite person, and I've been listening to this podcast where she talks about, reaching your goals. And of course, you can interpret this in so many different ways of whatever goals, whether it's, relationship goals, work goals, financial goals, whatever it is that you have.
Taking care of yourself.
Taking care of yourself
just-
goals.
yeah,
And so,
for sure.
of course, my mind went to lots of different areas of my life, but one of them was my UFOs. Okay, so I hope I can get this right, but I thought this was such a good message for everyone to hear, and that was that the true sign of success is that you just never quit.
There you go.
You never give up, and actually, when you do something, that's a good thing, but if you stop, you give yourself grace, but true success is defined by getting back and doing it. So
Yeah.
the success comes from the day you say, I'm going to get back to doing it. So interpret that however you want. But when I think about that long list,
Yeah.
like keep going, don't give up, don't quit.
Yeah.
And you actually, even if life happens and things happen, when you get back on, that's when you know you're successful.
Yeah, no, it was
Isn't
great.
that great?
I'm not too overwhelmed by my 1,000 projects.
No? Good.
Not at
That's
all.
good.
No,
Okay.
I was just happy because when I was able to do something,
Uh-huh.
it's been a long time since I've been able to do something.
Yep.
Just that, I don't know, that giddy, happy feeling of accomplishing just something. I was just happy to have something accomplished. So it was great.
I love it. Yes.
So I'm going to keep
love
going
it.
with all of
Yes.
you. I'm going to do my best
Yeah.
to keep going.
Wow. I love that. Debbie Brills had said in the comments that she had put this on her work calendar. It was a work meeting. So now she's got that taken
Oh,
care of.
good.
She's starting her UFOs tonight. Good job, Debbie.
Good. Good for you, Debbie. That's awesome.
And you're right, William. It's not that you got knocked off the horse. It's the fact that you get back on
Yeah,
the horse. And so
absolutely. So.
I mean, talk about a life lesson right there.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
but we're all in it together. Yeah, and that's
Absolutely.
what's really fun.
It is fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
Haven't
I
you
love it.
enjoyed like reading people's comments
Oh
and what
my
they're
gosh.
doing and
Yes,
getting
they're
started on?
inspiring to
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to get out all my UFOs.
Well, even if you don't, I mean, you're happy for everybody else, right?
Oh yeah, I am. I am
one at
really
a time.
happy.
It's just,
And when
yeah.
you do pull those out, you're like, yes, I really did like
Yeah.
that. I just found a whole bag of fabric. I don't know what it's to,
Yeah.
but I'm excited
Yeah.
because it's cute.
Well,
There you go.
Todd told us the other day, sometimes you just have to eat the frog.
It's true.
And so you
Eat the frog.
Eat the frog.
I got to hear this story.
We'll have him on one time and to tell us
Yeah,
about it.
it'll be fun.
Well, let's go ahead and dive right into what we're talking about this whole week, and that is the Stitch Your Story Challenge. And this month's theme is all about heritage, legacy, whatever you'd like to take that as. And so each day we've shared some of our stories, and we've shared a project that is inspired by that story. So today, Jacki and Kyle are going to take us through the things that they remember growing up. So Jacki, do you want to go ahead and get started?
Yes, I do. I
Okay.
says what was really funny is when we first got together to do this, Kris says, either Jacki or Kyle do it, whichever story is the best.
I went, Jackie.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's what that was so fun.
Uh-huh.
But I come from a family of quilters on both sides, my dad's side and my mom's side, and so I've got a lot of quilting genes, if you want to call it that way.
Okay.
And but today I'm going to talk about my experiences with hand quilting, because when I grew up, that's all that I saw.
Right.
In the
My
olden
aunts-
days.
Oh, well,
In the
I
olden
said, and I
days.
have, look, I have a picture of, I couldn't find one of my family.
I
So
love
this
this.
is like in the 1800s,
Yeah.
but I want you to see how cute. This is kind of
I love this.
what I remember as a kid.
Yeah.
Going to my aunt's house and just playing, and there's a little kid underneath the
I hear
quilting
all
frames.
the time these men talking about how they were underneath the
Yeah.
quilts.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I do. I remember that very vividly as growing up.
I love this painting.
And so the painting I thought was beautiful, but it definitely isn't my family. But yeah, that would really, I've
Could be.
aged,
Just
I've
go
aged
ahead and
so
name
well.
them.
You have.
Name them, Sharon.
I should.
Jackie.
I should.
Oh,
for
there's
sure.
Martha. There's
I know.
Beatrice.
I know
Okay.
all of them for sure.
Yeah.
And so the next picture, this is what I did go to my dad's house, and went through all of my mom's photos,
wow.
and to try and find something. And so the one on the right is a quilt that my mom hand stitched. If you remember the printed blocks
Yeah.
that you could buy, and then you hand
then you
stitched them.
hand stitch 'em,
So
yeah.
my mom hand stitched all of that. It was kind of cross
Was
stitched.
it blocks or was
Yes,
it a whole?
no, it was blocks. I remember
So
she
did
did
have
it.
to sew the blocks
She
together.
had to sew the blocks
Okay.
together.
Okay.
But she hand did that whole thing. That's a king size bed.
Look how far
And
down
there
it
were
goes.
pillow shams that went with it. So
course.
she hand did this one. And then the picture on the left, the first one is my mom that's in the burgundy.
Oh.
And my mom's mom passed away when she was 61 years old. And so my mom was really close to her aunts. So the next 5 women are all of my great aunts, her aunts,
Oh,
that would
nice.
get together, and that they would have these quilting bees. And so all of them quilted that quilt. So they would do that.
I love that they did it together.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
their way of coming together and
Yeah.
doing that. Does that ring a bell for anyone else out there? Do you have those same kind of memories from growing up?
Yeah.
I know I didn't, because I didn't come from a quilting family necessarily, but once I married into the Thurgood family, oh yeah, all
Yeah,
of us
they
would
were.
get together and hand quilt.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
would say I'm not a big hand quilter.
Uh-huh.
That's something that I don't enjoy, but I mean, it's amazing to me how fast they would get a quilt all done by hand.
Or they would tie quilts.
Yes,
too.
tying was a big thing too. They would take their polyester clothes, which I cannot stand polyester to this day. It was so scratchy, but they would cut them in squares, and then they would
They
tie
last
that quilt,
forever.
and it was great. I have great memories growing up
wonderful.
and coming. Yeah, so I feel like I come from a great quilting heritage,
yes.
for sure.
See, I love your take on heritage.
Yeah.
Through this. So,
Yeah.
you and Kyle are going to be sharing with all of us the block that you decided upon, and you're going to introduce us to an amazing ruler that we
Yes.
love around
Yes.
here, and show us kind of step by step of how you interpreted and put that block together.
Yeah.
And then Kyle, during theme 3, you're going to share a discovery with all of us.
Yeah, it'll be
I
fun.
cannot
You're
wait.
going to be
It's going to be
amazed.
really fun. So hopefully you'll be inspired. I think it will be fun.
I
No
love it.
looking very closely though.
Oh, okay. We
No,
promise.
This is great.
Scouts
Okay.
honor. All right, everyone. I look forward to that. Hope you are too. And we'll take a look and check out what they're making right after this. Hi, it's Kris from My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and today I'm going to show you how to make your block lay nice and flat, because we're going to do a technique called spinning the seam. Sometimes when you sew together a 4-patch block or maybe even a pinwheel block, you have a little bit of bulk right here in the center. Well, in order to get that to lay nice and flat, we're going to do what's called spinning the seam. How do you do it? Well, once you have sewn your patches together, you're going to look for the last vertical seam that you just did, which is this one. And then find the seam that is going perpendicular into that one. And that is the seam that you're going to do a little bit of unpicking, not a lot. And don't worry, it's not going to come apart. It's just right there in that seam. What that allows us to do is open that seam right up, and what do you know? I'm spinning the seam. I'm just placing my thumb right there in the middle, pressing it down, and I've got a cute little 4-patch block on the back of my block. When it looks like that, I know I've done it correctly. Turn it over, press it, and you have a beautiful flat block. This is Kris from My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and thank you for watching.
Okay,
Hey.
we're back.
Yay.
I'm Jackie, and
I'm Kyle.
we're excited to show you some really fun things. I know this week we've talked a lot about finding something, your
Right.
block or whatever. I
That's
think Allison
meaningless.
talked about she found her inspiration from a book.
Yep.
You can, if you feel great, you can freehand stuff. I mean, you're not limited to
No.
anything. So today,
It's yours.
right, we're talking a little bit about something of another tool that you can use to help with your Stitch Your Story
good.
block.
I could use all the help.
And you know what? I love using rulers. Rulers are one of my favorite things because I feel like I get really precise stitching.
Yes, yes.
And it works out really good.
It takes me just a little bit of time to figure out, oh, that's why it's so cool.
Yeah, well, I'm going to share it with you. My inspiration today is a log cabin block. I love log cabin blocks. I don't know, I've just been drawn to them, and there's so many different ways you can do.
I have a
log-
paper, is it called paper piecing where you?
Yes.
I have
Yes.
one started.
Yes,
A whole
you
quilt.
can do. You don't have to have templates or paper or anything. But I really wanted to show
Makes
you
more
today
sense.
to use this Creative Grids. It's called Log Cabin Trim Tool. You can actually, you can do 2 different sizes. So
Nice.
there's
So
a
it's
12.
multi.
Yes, so it has a lot of different uses for it. Well, at least 2. So you can do a 12-inch finished block, or you can do a 6-inch finished block.
Those are great sizes.
So they're perfect. So this will go right along. You could even make 2 of them, 2 6-inch blocks and do 4 of them.
Okay.
So what I love about Log Cabin or Creative Grids is that they always come with great instructions. There's a scan code on here that also will to help you as well. But it's really a lot of fun, and they're step by step.
If you lose this, is that scan code there too?
Yes. So if you notice on this ruler, there are a lot of squares. Hopefully you can kind of see that. So these 2, there's another white one that's hard to see.
Oh, yeah.
But you'll use this for the 12-inch block. But then down here on this other end is where you'll use for your 6-inch block.
Okay.
Okay. And on the ruler, it tells you what size. The first thing that you have to do is cut your center square exactly. So for the 12-inch, I did a 3.5-inch square, and for the 6-inch, you do a 2-inch.
Oh,
So
okay.
you cut that exactly. Then the rest of it, you can make sure that your strips are cut
long
at
enough?
least a 1.5-inch for the 12-inch block.
Okay.
You can make this scrappy. You can do all kinds of different things with it. So I wanted to be a little more,
I love these colors.
yeah, I wanted to kind of plan my colors a little bit more, but you could find anything out of your stash to do this. So I'm going to walk you through on how to use this Creative Grids ruler. It's really a lot of fun. So put my little
I agree.
paper. So the first round, we're going to talk about rounds. Okay, so they're
Rounds on a square
rounds.
peg?
So we're going to go around the log cabin.
Around a square.
Around. So I'm going to start out with, and I'll let you sew. If you want
You're
to
so
sew.
nice. Yep.
So I always have to, here's my 3.5-inch square that I'm going to start out with. So I'm going to use my little handy dandy instructions because I'm a very
Nice.
visual learner. So the first one is I am going to sew, if you look on my block, this one right here is the first block, the
Okay.
first thing that you sew
Okay.
to your center square. So these 2 are going to be my first ones. So I always like to lay it out because I'm always sewing it wrong. So I'm going to take my square and I'm going to sew just a light piece. And I don't have these cut in any length or anything.
No,
I just cut
just the
strips.
width.
Yeah. So I'm going to have you sew 1/4 of an inch.
Oh my goodness, that's longer.
It is longer, but don't fret.
Oh, okay.
Okay, don't worry.
Okay.
We're all good.
All right.
So sew a 1/4 inch seam just from here to here. And then you can stop when
Okay.
you run out of the orange
Underneath?
fabric.
Okay.
And I'll show you how fun this is to,
All right, and do I put the...
I'm not even gonna pin it either.
Oh, you're wild and crazy.
Okay, we're sewing on the Altair 2. And so we'll have you go to sewing. And then I'm gonna set up the machine with the 1/4 inch seam. So I'm gonna move my needle to the right. So you're gonna do Q, you're gonna go to our quilting
Oh
folder.
yeah, the quilting.
And then it's 02 is the next.
02, there it is. I
Yeah.
can see that because it's off to the right.
Yeah, so that's gonna position my needle. So then I can use just
moved.
the edge of the presser foot. So then it will be a 1/4 inch seam.
Okay.
So
I don't have to have a ruler and all that? Nice.
No,
I'm not
then
using...
you just use the edge of your presser foot, which is just your normal J, your
Okay.
normal J foot.
Okay.
Um,
Look at that. I
there you
I
go.
did not get it
You
up
can
there all the
set
way.
up.
I can go past a little bit too on the top,
Yes,
right?
yes, because you're going to trim it afterwards.
Okay.
So even if you want to go off a little bit, it's okay. We're going to trim it.
Okay.
Not a problem.
And I'm not back stitching.
No.
And I'm watching right at my presser foot.
Yeah,
I'm not
the edge
watching
of, and that's
anything else.
what how I love to do my 1/4 inch seam, because it really makes it. It's easier for me, and the surface area of your presser foot holds that fabric down, and it makes it really nice.
Well, don't look at that real close, okay?
I'm sure it's perfect.
It's perfect.
So what we're going to do is then you're going to open it. Well, before you do that, then I'm going to trim it.
Okay.
I'm going to use you can use scissors, you can use your rotary cutter, your rotary blade, and let me show you how to trim it. So then it will be, okay, I'll trim it on that side, turn it around, and I'll trim it there.
Now it's the same
Now
length.
it's the same. I can take it to my iron and press it open. Voila.
Okay, is there a
Okay.
certain way I have to press it?
I always press it outwards.
Outward?
Yeah. And so then when you're all done, look at this. We're going to pretend that you...
Magic. I'm so
You
good.
did so
I'm
good.
so good.
She sewed this whole thing, this first round.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, okay, so here was the one that
I
you
just
just
did.
sewed. Then you're going to take it and you're going to sew another strip to
And you've
to
made
this
that
part.
longer than
Yeah, you
this
don't
block
have to.
and that.
Right, because you're going to trim it, okay? So this first round, once you're
Don't
done
try
with
sewing the next one without trimming.
yeah. So, yeah, so then you're going to sew this one. Then you can kind of see, oh, I'm going to trim it. Now I'm going to go back and I'm going to sew my next one.
And how do you know that? Because
Well, when you look at it, you can tell, but if you have your instructions,
Handy dandy.
this is really nice because it will tell you exactly 1 and 2, 2 to 3,
one
and then 3 to
2
3.
and 3
Okay?
and 4.
So the only thing that you have to remember, okay, and the only reason why I know this is because I've done it
Why
wrong.
do we always learn things?
I know, we always make mistakes. But here's my first round. And
Okay.
so now it's time to trim, and I'm going to use the ruler.
Okay, one thing I've noticed is that these two colors are the same.
Yes. Your
And these
tradition-
are light.
Right, okay, your traditional log cabin has dark, and then it has light.
Because then you can make a pattern with just the dark
Right.
and the light.
But the reason why I love this block so much is that you don't have to follow that. And usually the center is always, I think, black or red, one of them,
Oh, really?
the traditional way.
I did not know that.
Yes, but I like, you don't have to do it light and dark. You could actually do, you could do this all the same. So each block, it can all be however you want to do.
That's kind of what I did.
So you can do it however you want. That's why this is so fun, because this is something that you're going to decide how you want to do it. Okay, so now I'm done and I'm ready to trim. All right, now you'll notice that there are squares
I got a question again.
on here. Okay,
Do I have to have that green the same ones, or can I use different?
you can
different
use
greens?
whatever you want. I planned mine out,
Okay.
but if you don't want to, so you on yours you didn't really plan.
No,
yours.
I just grabbed it out of the bag without looking.
And see, that's perfect. If you like to do that, that's great. So
Not really, but I did.
yeah, but I planned the colors on my block.
Good job.
So I could have 2 different greens here if I wanted.
Okay.
They don't have to be the same.
Okay.
Okay.
Good
They
to
can
know.
be whatever. So then I'm going to take my ruler, and this is what's in a really important step, because if you don't trim it, then
Hey, it looked
your
pretty
block
square.
your block is going to be extra big when you're
work
when you're
out.
done. And this is where I ran into the problem. Is I had to get it in my mind that you have, after the 4th square, you have to trim.
Okay.
So the 4, trim. So the
Before
next
you go
square-
on to the next
before-
one.
Yeah. So I learned that the
Oh,
hard
yeah.
way.
And you've lined this
Yes.
square up with
So
that
that's
square.
what's really nice about this ruler, is because now I will center my center square. Actually, I did a pretty good job.
You did a really good job.
That, and I've got lines here that I can line up. So then I know that it's nice and straight. So then
'cause
all I
there's
have to do
seams.
is take my and trim it.
So you're meant to
One
make
way?
that strip a little bit wider than what it really
Yes,
is.
yes, and it tells you here it has to be at least 1 1/4 or 2 1/2, 2
Okay.
1/4. I actually made mine 2 and 2 1/2.
Okay.
So then we can just throw that away. So I have trimmed this side. Now I have to trim the other side. So I'm going to flip my block around.
That's easy.
Okay. Now I'm going to line up my square again in the center. Make sure that my lines are lined up on my sewing line, on the stitch lines.
That's amazing.
Okay. I can
do this.
Yeah, you can. You can line it up here, and you can also line it up here, so that
Look at that good sewing I did.
so you did so well. I'm so proud of you, Kyle. Good. Okay. So now I'm going to trim. Now I'm going to trim the.
That trimming is amazing what
I
it
mean,
does.
well, because then it makes it
Cleans
so
it.
that it's perfect. Okay. So there's my perfect square, and now I'm ready to add my next.
You're just
set
going
of
to do that again?
Yes.
And do I always add on this same side?
So yes, you'll
First.
put your light. You'll do light, and then you'll do the dark and dark.
Okay.
If you wanted to do it that way. But if you were going to do this all one, then it doesn't really matter. So now I'm
Okay.
going to go to round 2. Okay.
Ooh, round 2.
And Kyle has been so good that she's already done her
am
round 2.
amazing.
You are amazing. So here's our round 2. We've sewn our.
I get what you're going to do now.
Yeah.
I know what you're going to do. That's awesome. That's
cool.
genius.
Okay, so now I used this one. So if I used this square, then look how much I would. So I'm going to
You'd
move
be
it up
mad
to.
if you trimmed that again.
Yeah, I know. So then I need to use my white square. Okay, there's a little white square here.
Oh, I didn't even
you
notice that one.
Yeah, so you'll line that up, and I'm going to do the same thing, where I will. See, you can see I've unpicked that because I forgot to trim before I went on. So I highly recommend that you trim, because it looks
Yes.
really funny if you don't.
Cutting that far away from you
Well,
is hard.
Yeah, I need longer arms. So now I'm going to just twist it around.
And you're still going to put it in that white block.
Yep. Yep. Okay. So hopefully you can kind of
Nice.
see how simple and this is. Then I know that my blocks are going to be actually like spot on. So it doesn't matter, as long as I cut my strips long enough, then
You know what somebody said? I could sew this till the cows come home. I don't want them to come home.
I'm like, do you want that to happen?
No.
All right, so there's my next round. So then,
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
What are these little
grids,
dashes?
there, it's just a grid. So you can kind of line things up,
okay,
which is nice.
okay. It
It
just
does allow
extends.
it does allow for a 1/4 inch seam.
Because those are dashes, but where you're looking is a solid line.
Right. So that's a cutting line, and that's just kind of as a guide for you.
Good job.
Now the other thing that I like about this ruler is on the edge right here. It's kind of, you feel it's kind of rough. That will hold.
Love that.
It holds your fabric down so
Love
that
that.
you're not.
It doesn't slide.
It doesn't slide. Yeah, so it's really
Been there,
great.
done that.
Yeah. So now that we've done, here's our second one, our second round. We're going to do one more round.
And you started out here again.
Yep.
Because these two were your
Yep.
ending. So one,
Yeah.
2, 3,
But
4.
you could do the same. That's what's so fun is you can create however you want your block to be.
Okay.
Which is really
Okay.
fun. All right, so then this is the last
Oh, I just barely
the
finished
last
that.
one, and you'll sew these two.
Okay.
I did all different backgrounds.
Yes, I
here,
like that.
But you could just do all solid or
Oh yeah.
yeah.
You could.
So then you do this. Then you would do the same thing.
So you get in your brain. My first one I'm going to sew on each row is my white.
And it's not, you're not going to trim this last one because this is kind of your center, unless you need to square it up. Okay.
And look at how good we did.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. So
Nice.
this will be our center square.
But if you did have to trim it,
then you
could.
would trim it at this point.
Okay.
But I think we did a really good job.
Really good.
At squaring it up.
That seems so easy.
Wasn't that fun?
Really easy?
If you were doing this a lot and then just have all your different piles of all your strips, and then if you wanted to do it scrappy, you wouldn't have to really think about it.
No.
And just keep going.
I just have to think about it when I very begin,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, this is easy.
Yeah.
Now these are your two. Is it the third one on this one?
So this one is for your 6-inch. So if you wanted to do a 6-inch finished,
Oh, I see the different ones.
then it's the exact same process, only you're using smaller
Oh,
squares.
and look, here's a square here, a square there.
So you would actually use, here's your lines
Outside.
for your 6-inch right here.
Oh, just like this 12-inch. Okay.
So you could actually do 4 6-inch squares if
okay.
you wanted to have that
A busy quilt.
yeah.
Nice.
So you could do them even
Nice.
smaller. But it is really fun, and I really love this this ruler. It's a
I
lot
love
of fun.
this, and I love their instructions.
Yes, and the log cabin is so classic, and it's been around for a long time. So
You can make it look old-fashioned, or you
Yes.
can make it modern.
yeah, make it yours for sure. So I think we need to bring Kris back and
Oh, good idea.
have her.
Good idea. We could teach
what
her
we
some
can just-
things.
Right, I know. I don't think so.
I don't
but,
think so either.
But anyway, we'll be right back, and after we join Kris, we'll have her come back, and
Okay.
we'll
I'm ready. I
show
got a
some fun
surprise.
things. It's really great. Okay, we'll be right back.
Hi everyone, it's Kris from My Girlfriend's Quilt Shop, and today I'm going to show you how to make a 4-patch block. Now there are 2 different ways you can do this. One is that you would cut up 4 squares and lay them out just like this. Then what you would do is put 2 pieces together, right sides together, and sew along the line. Fold it out and do the same thing on this side and press it out. Now I want to bring these 2 rows together, and the best way to do it is to make sure that the seam allowance goes in one direction on the first row and in the opposite direction on the second row. Now I'll put right sides together and sew right along there. Make sure that your seams are nesting together, one right up against the other. And my 4-patch is complete. Now, if you're making a lot of 4-patch blocks out of the same fabrics, there's another really easy way of doing this, and that is using the strip method. What you do is you'll take the 2 strips of fabric that are in the 4-patch block and sew one long seam right sides together until that is complete. Now that my 2 strips have been sewn together, I'm going to go ahead and take my ruler, and these end up being 3 inches and 3 inches, so I'm going to subcut at 3 inches.
And I could keep going all the way down that row, cutting many blocks. Now take a look. We've got those pieces all sewn together. One last seam to go, and that is to go right here, press it out, and once again, you have a beautiful 4-patch block. And that's all there is to it. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, look at this. Look at this. I have to show you. I hand quilted this over 30 years ago. I know.
Yay.
I know. I did not know anything about quilting. I refused because that was old lady stuff. But look at my corners. My corners are amazing.
Yeah, they are.
Amazing.
Kyle.
And you notice there's no binding because I sewed the front to the back. I don't even know how I did that. That sounds
Amazing.
horrible.
Well, that's
horrible.
great.
But I did quilt all the way down here. I didn't do an abundance of quilting, but I quilted around all the white area. And if any of you are hand quilters, do not look at my stitching. They are not even, because I've always heard people talk about how they would kick people out if they did not have even stitching.
What?
I
Really?
I would never try and do it.
Oh.
But I did it around all the white. I'm very proud of this. I gave this to my daughter. I was always going to hand stitch Noelle in here, but I have an embroidery machine now, so I don't have to do it hand stitching. But this is so much fun, and thank you very much.
Well, and you know
Very
what?
much.
They're
love
not.
it.
They're not even. I mean, you don't.
Oh,
they
no.
don't have to be.
I don't
They
have to have
to
it
be.
even.
They
It's
don't.
mine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I was
love
learning.
that.
Isn't that fun?
Yes, and look, I mean, she's kept it all these years.
All these
And I'm
years.
sure it's
That's
a
really
treasure
cool.
to her.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
She loves it.
I love
made
that.
a pillow to match.
Wow.
I'm so good.
Did you do the pillow shams?
Yeah.
No, I didn't even know what a sham was.
Well, but then the binding. Now you just
binding
knew
would
how to
be
do modern before modern was
Yeah.
a thing.
Exactly.
I would never
Right?
want to do
Yeah,
that again.
very true.
Yeah.
And did you notice how puffy it is?
Yeah, yeah.
I love it.
You know what? It's amazing, and isn't it so fun to kind of follow our quilting journey?
Don't throw them away.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't.
yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, I read in the comments from, I think it was Brenda, who shared what her heritage block was going to be, and she said that it was a block she'd always wanted to do, and she remembers years ago that she did a smaller one, and how long it took her to do it. And now all these years later, she's like, I'm so proud of myself because it was so easy for me to do. So it really, shows how far you've come. And I think that's the same way with this quilt, Kyle.
Absolutely. I don't know if I even stretched it or anything.
You know
I blocked
what?
it from my memory.
Well, you know what? We learn, don't we? We
Absolutely.
learn.
But I
a
still
lot.
love it.
I think it's
It's
beautiful.
cozy.
It is cozy, and I think it's
So-
absolutely gorgeous.
And it was made by love.
Yes.
With
Exactly.
love, right?
Yes.
That's why
Was
hence
love.
my sweater today.
Yeah,
made with
there
love.
you go.
Did you make your sweater?
No.
She was knitting
Yeah.
away.
Jackie.
Yes.
So, Kyle, what are you going to share with us today for
Okay.
your discovery?
Because I was trying to be cool like Jackie, I did a log cabin.
Uh-huh.
But it's completely different than hers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see that. I did start with, let's see, which side did I start with? This side. Here's my first one that I did. And then here's my second, because I can tell I ended there and I ended there. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth.
All the way around.
All the way around.
In
too.
rows.
Yes. And did you notice that my strips aren't the same size?
Right.
And yeah.
And that's okay.
I totally think so.
That's okay. And I'm going to cut it down to a 12 and, was it 12 and a half?
Yep, 12 and a
Heritage.
half.
Yes.
And you know what it also reminds me of is that so many years ago, people just used what they had.
Yes.
So, I mean, they would
Clothing
take
and-
it from
yes.
clothing. They would take it from anywhere they could, get the fabric. The tea towels, what did they call those?
The corn sack.
feed, yeah, feed
yeah,
sacks.
the
Yeah,
flour
feed
sacks.
sacks.
And
Yeah.
so that is something that, those colors definitely, you would not normally go, oh, let's put these together. and yet I think it's so charming.
Yeah.
I love it.
As long as it's not polyester.
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
it's got nightmares of
I do
polyester.
have nightmares of
But
polyester.
some did
They
intertwine
did.
it in it.
Absolutely.
They did.
Yeah, they
So,
still do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what did you do on your stencil?
Yeah.
Okay, on my stencil, I found this cutest flower, and I thought, oh, I have to draw that, and all my petals have to be even? No. I went to my computer, and I found a clip art. And so I took the clip art, because I'm really, really good on the computer, you guys know that, and I printed it off, but I took a piece of this stick and stitch. I don't know if this is even open, but you take a piece and
love this.
one side
Yes.
is paper, the other side is kind of woven. I've ironed this up. I stuck this on really
It's
good.
sticky on one
Yeah,
side.
so I can't get this up. This is on here. So I put that through my computer, and voila, magic occurred, and it printed right on my
Yeah.
stitching side.
So you don't have to come up with, if you don't feel comfortable
Yes.
just coming up with a design, you can just.
I could never get them to
find
look
one.
like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I thought modern technology
Yeah.
with an old-fashioned look.
I love it.
Oh, look
Are
at
you impressed?
I am
Yes.
impressed.
Yeah.
That is great.
So I decided, okay, I'm going to put this on here just in the center. I don't need anything else, but I did it in red. Okay, and I did put some
You're
batting.
stitching it
You're
in
stitching red.
Stitching it
Okay.
in red. I put a back on this part, and then I added my rows. And so
Oh,
I
so
will
you put-
add batting after
Sure,
the
okay.
end to do the whole thing, and I will machine stitch around here in the ditch.
Oh, Kyle.
Yes.
You should not have said that today.
Is there a stitch
Maybe
on there that
tomorrow.
looks like hand quilting?
Yes,
Actually, there is.
Yes, and so you could tell that there's something different about this, but that's the stitch and the stick and stitch.
But then what happens after you wash it?
Okay, as soon as I get this all done, and I was going to have half of it washed off, and then I thought I don't want it because it'll be
Yeah.
gummy. You're just going to rinse that off, and it's going to come right off.
Oh, can everyone see that you
Yeah.
actually put this on muslin? So
Yeah.
at first I thought that was the,
Can we?
I wanted it
fabric.
to kind of look old-fashioned.
this.
Oh, there we go.
There you
There
go.
you go.
so it has that sticky
Yeah.
side that
And
you
it,
fuse
it's been on there for a few weeks.
and then it just washes away.
It just
Yeah.
washes away. All you have
What
to do is
a
put some
great
water on it.
product. Stick and stitch.
If you could see
Yeah.
my red stitching here, I still had my red thread.
And then what's your other tool that you love to have when you are doing your hand
Oh.
stitching?
Your fingers. Your fingers
Yes.
just die. And I'm not used to using a thimble. Those are
Yeah, I'm
kind of
not
cumbersome for me.
I'm not a big
Right.
one, but I love these too.
Yeah.
That saves the inside of your
It
finger.
just is an adhesive little leather patch that you put on your finger.
It's not big and bulky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
And you
love
don't
it.
have to worry about your beautiful fingernails in them.
yeah. I mean, I've been known
Could you
to.
imagine?
Oh, ouch!
Yeah.
Punch that needle right through my
yes.
finger.
They work great
Absolutely.
for binding too. That if
Oh,
when
that's a
your
good idea.
when
Oh,
your
yeah.
hand is
I
when
don't
it
have
gets
them bind anymore.
oh well if you hand bind
Yes.
and we're all talking about things hand. but-
Also, you could use DMC floss.
Oh, so if
doing
you want-
stitching,
okay, sure,
doing your hand
perfect.
stitching. Yeah. So this just reminded me of all the handwork that we do.
Yeah.
Just think of it that way,
Oh, I
but you're
would
trying to
love-
get them even.
I would love to use the floss because then
Yeah.
it just gives it a dimension
Mm-hmm.
to it. So that would be really fun.
It would have been cute if I did it in, what's that one that it's multicolored,
The variegated.
variegated?
Yeah.
That would have been cute on
Yeah.
a
Love
flower.
that.
No, I'm not changing thread now.
She's got it. She's
Kyle.
got it down.
But
That-
this was
wow,
so
fun.
much fun, and this is my best friend anymore.
I says that is
absolutely.
really cool. I
If
love
you
that.
have not tried this, try it.
Yeah.
It's
So-
not hard to get into your printer. It goes in there so easy. And I just put it in like the paper side up. Paper side up, because mine comes around.
Kind of depends on
Yeah,
your
your
printer.
printer.
Know which
Of
way.
what's-
I
yeah.
would practice with a regular piece of paper first.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you know which side should go in.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
I
But
love
you're
that.
printing onto the sticky part.
Well,
Or the
Kyle,
woven.
you shared this stick and stitch with us before.
I have.
You use it for all kinds
Oh.
of hand embroidery.
Yeah,
I
you can use
want
it cross
a package
stitch.
of this at my house
I
all
said
the time.
it would be great for
I
any
love that.
handwork.
Yes.
That would be
Yeah.
really
Absolutely. And if you get really intricate stuff, I mean, your mother,
Well,
when they did all that,
I'm sure it was
would've been nice if they
printed.
They would have loved that.
Yes, they would have. They would
but
have.
you get to design it yourself.
Yeah, it's great.
I like it.
What a great discover.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jackie, the reason why you chose the log cabin block as your, you were inspired by
My
the women
Yes,
in
the
your
women in my-
family.
yeah.
And this would be a typical block that maybe they would do.
yeah.
And then the hand quilting on top of that. So can you see how these stories can really come to life in your blocks depending on how you interpret it to be?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I love that. And then you're going to write the story, of course.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we want you to download
and
your free
journal it.
printable of the journal, because a block is just a block until you actually tell the story behind it.
Yes, we
Yeah.
would not
So-
know anything about the pomegranate, why
No.
you did the pomegranate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I love that. Hey, someone in the comments, I believe it was Marion earlier, she had asked, what is the difference between a courthouse step block and a log cabin block? So I'm going to show you on the little package here so you can kind of get a visual. I don't know if we can show right here on this.
There we go.
There we go.
There. Yeah, there it is.
So Marion and whoever else might have this same question, because it's a good one. This is the log cabin, all right? And you know, your traditional log cabin, like Jackie mentioned, has the dark and the light. Doesn't have to, but that's traditionally what it's known for. But this one is courthouse steps. So Jackie, it's really dependent on where you put your strips, correct?
Exactly. It's exactly the same thing. It's just the look. So if you notice, they look like courthouse steps, pretty much.
Or a dumbbell.
You know, or a hourglass.
Yes.
Or something like
Yeah,
that. But
definitely.
it's just where you put your fabric.
Yeah, I
So-
love that.
and
So
then
there's
the
3
other
different
one-
ways you could do that?
Well, you do all of the same. It just, and you, like we said
put your
before,
square.
you can design it however you want.
It's mine.
These are just some that you can, if you Google search log cabin blocks, I mean, you can find all kinds of different ways.
So many ways, so
So.
many ways of doing it. I love that. So it's the log cabin trim tool too. Like they mentioned earlier, you can scan the QR code on there so that you can watch again demonstrations, which is so very helpful. And Jackie, how can they get their hands on one of these?
Well, we have that on our website so that you can see all the products that we've talked about today. And also it will be on tonight on Comment Sold. So tune in tonight at 6:30
in
Mountain
fact,
Standard
everything
Time.
we've talked about this week
Yes,
will be on
will
Comment
be on
Sold,
Comment
won't
Sold
it?
this night.
So,
Tonight. Yeah. Be
Nice,
awesome.
very nice. Hey, before we leave, I want to mention real quickly another discovery that was made yesterday. All right,
yes.
you ready
Yes,
for this?
yes.
Okay, so for those of you who are with, let's see, Cindy and I yesterday, we were doing the pomegranate block, and I was trying to show her how to turn her grandmother's story of the fish into a fish block, and we were doing collage applique. Well, you may remember that
Yes.
as she was peeling back her fabric and trying to put it on the paper, it wasn't sticking.
That's what I
It
yes,
wasn't
I said,
sticking.
"Ooh."
No. And so, of course, my mind's going a million miles a minute trying to figure out what happened, what's going
Yeah.
on, because I saw her press her things and everything was fine. Well, here we go. Let me let you know that the discovery, that it was the aha moment for me, and I said, I've got to share with everyone today.
I'm glad you're
is
sharing it.
Yeah.
The fact that our fusibles have shelf lives.
Yeah. Oh, yes, that's
They
very
do.
true. Yes.
Shelf
They
life.
sure do.
So do not pull out the old stuff from the closet that's been sitting there for years and years.
It's like your pantry. Get rid of that old stuff.
It's a rotating.
Maybe we should put like expiration dates
Yes,
on these things.
we should.
But poor Cindy, it was not her fault. She actually had been given some very old steam-a-seam.
And she was prepared.
And she was prepared, so it was no fault of hers. But when I started feeling it and I looked at how she had pressed it and everything, I said, "You did it right." And then I realized it was very brittle.
yeah.
It was very brittle. There was no stick whatsoever. But then she had cut other pieces of fabric that she had used with a brand new sheet of stick and steam.
So some of them were
Stitch and
sticking.
steam. And
it
was
worked
fine.
out perfect.
It
So
was
there
fine.
you have it. What a
So,
great discover.
there you go.
Yes.
Who knew? Exactly.
Make sure.
I love it. So there's a question about the log cabin ruler also,
Yes, when you sew your blocks together, you'll sew your blocks with a 1/4" seam. So then your blocks will all be the same when you use the ruler. Yes.
Yes, so at
Yeah.
the very end, it's going to be the same size as the ruler?
It's going to be a 1/4" smaller.
It'll be a 1/4" inch
And
smaller.
on the ruler, it actually has your 1/4" seam.
Yes, so the ruler
That-
is the size with the
It's
1/4"
without.
seam?
It's without.
Oh, it is? Oh.
Yes, because
you go.
it's a 12" finished block once you've sewn it all together. So it's really a 12.5" unfinished.
So that's why
Unfinished.
you
Does that mean?
don't
You
trim
don't
it.
trim it. Yes.
I want everyone to remember, all your blocks are going to, if you're doing this challenge with us and you want to have the perfect way of bringing it all together at the end of the year, you want to do 12.5.
Yes, make sure your blocks are
inches
12.5
unfinished.
because then it will be 12 inches
Unfinished.
finished.
Yeah.
Or if you don't, just make sure all your blocks are the same.
Yes.
So if you cut
Just
it off,
be consistent.
Just
It's fine.
do it. Yeah. Make it all the same.
If your seams end up being 3/8 inch instead of a 1/4" inch, make them all 3/8
Yep,
inch.
exactly. For sure.
All right, too fun. Okay, so now you guys know, the new
Yeah.
discovery. You might want to
aware.
pick yourself up a new package of
Absolutely.
not this one, but the
The stitch and
stitch
seam.
and steam.
Yeah. No, seam and steam.
Steam and steam. Steam and steam, stitch and
That's right.
steam.
All
I don't
these
know.
things.
All of
Shrinky
them.
dinks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. So again, just a reminder that tonight, join myself, Allison, Tammy, and Jackie for Comet Sold. Oh, I think Todd will be there
Yeah,
too.
Todd will be here
Oh,
as well.
And
Nice.
that's at 6:30 tonight. And we just picked out some more samples to
some
give
giveaways.
away.
Oh, how fun.
Yes, they're
Ooh, they're really
patriotic.
cute. Okay.
Patriotic samples that
Yay.
we are giving away tonight live. So make sure you tune in at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Now, also, just a reminder that if you haven't signed up to be part of the UFO challenge, you've got to do it. It's going to be a blast.
Be fun.
Ooh,
We'll
no
even
pun
have that on.
intended.
We'll have that tonight as well.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
that will be on our
yes.
show tonight.
Yes, if
So
you want to just
What is?
to join tonight.
join
as well.
tonight,
Oh, okay.
the UFO.
Okay.
So it's $10 to join. It's going to be fabulous for you to be encouraged to get those projects done. Absolutely. And then a reminder also, Stitch Your Story. We would love for you to be a part of it. Even if you don't feel like you're a very creative person, we promise we're here to help every step of the way. There's going to be lots of different ways to look at each of these blocks and many, many different techniques for us to share with you, or you do your own as well. So there's no right or wrong way of doing it. There are no rules, but you can check out more information at mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com to work on Stitch Your Story. And last but not least, here's a call out for all of you messy room sewers. I'm right there with you. It's
I said
fine.
that's me.
No judgment. We would love for you to send in your photos of your messy sewing room. Now, I know there's a few of you who are like, no, I'm good. I'm good. Well, I think the majority
Yeah.
might just have a little bit of a
I just
mess
need
and-
about that much space, so
Yeah,
I don't
we
cut
always-
anything else.
we always
Exactly.
work around
yeah.
it.
So it's fine. It's a judgment-free zone. So
Yeah.
share your photos. If someone yesterday said, "Can I share anonymously?" You bet. You bet. You sure can. But I think what that's going to do is help inspire all of us to
Yeah.
get our sewing rooms
I'm more creative
ready.
when I'm cleared
it's-
out.
Absolutely, because clutter
Yeah.
here means clutter here.
Mm-hmm.
And when
It's
you get
true.
rid of it,
It's
your
true.
mind is so much more
So
open.
true.
All right, everyone, let's go ahead and wrap this all up.
What a
Thanks so
great
much
day.
for being here with us. Thank you
was
to
really
both of
fun.
you.
Oh, yeah, we had fun.
It was a great demonstration. I really loved it, and it made me excited to get out my log cabin
I
ruler.
know, I
haven't
know.
done that one for a while.
No,
Well,
But
and
it's
fun.
perfect
You can
every
do
time.
them in so many different ways, and that's what I love about
that's
it.
my UFO one.
There you
There
go.
you go.
There
One
you go.
started.
Let's get
Okay.
started. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Keep doing all the things that you love. And we hope to see you tonight. And we also hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.